No! Noria at Noria Reads is hosting a readathon, and it is called... It is the fuckathon. The first fuckathon was held last year, I believe, by Noria, and it is a readathon where you collect a bunch of books together that just stick the middle finger up to whatever in the world is pissing you off at that moment. It is being hosted throughout the month of July, so it's a whole month's readathon, which is my kind of readathon. I can't do those 24-hour ones. Nope. And on the 1st of August, Noria Reads will be hosting a live show where everybody can jump in and chat about the books they have read throughout the readathon. The first prompt is Ableism, to read a book with a main character who suffers from any type of disability, whether that is visible or invisible. So I have two options for this. My first is The Calculating Stars by Mary Robinette Kowal. The main character, Elma York, suffers from severe anxiety and struggles to deal with any type of social situation that has to deal with people. It's also about lady astronauts who are trying to go to Mars. My second option for this prompt, I'll see how it goes, is the Finding Home graphic novels written and illustrated by Harry Connor. I have the first two here. The third one is currently in progress, and these graphic novels are wonderful. Amazing. The Finding Home books are about these two characters who are going on a journey together, and it's a slow burn romance, and it is just lovely. The way this book fits the prompt is that this character suffers from quite a few different mental illnesses. So depression, PTSD, anxiety, he's got it all. And it is heartbreaking and it is amazing. The next prompt is Fuck Capitalism, to read a book that subverts capitalism in some way. And my choice for that is Docile by K.M. Spara. I just ordered my copy of this book, but it hasn't arrived yet, so I'm patiently waiting for that to arrive. But this is a science fiction book about sex, wealth, power, money, abuse, greed, all that fun stuff. And I believe the author is trans, I think. But it's all about a family who have fallen into debt and they need to figure out how to fix that. Very excited to read this one. It sounds really interesting. Ageism. Read a book with a character who is 50 or older. And for that, I am picking the third in the Broken Earth trilogy, The Stone Sky by N.K. Jemisin. I don't know what you can say about the Broken Earth trilogy other than it's amazing and it's possibly the best series of books that's ever been written ever. So I'm very excited to read this one. Although, if I read this, I haven't decided yet if I want to read the first two and then read this one, or if I'm just gonna read this one. Need to decide. But if you don't know what the Broken Earth trilogy is about, it is following characters who have the power to control stone and rock and the bedrock that is under the earth. And it's super amazing. They live in this super crazy world that is full of erupting volcanoes and tsunamis and earthquakes and everything. The tectonic plates in this world are always moving. So these people with these magical powers have to be able to control these things so that basically everybody in the world doesn't die, but everybody in the world hates the people who can control these powers because they believe that they're also causing the earthquakes that they're stopping in the first place. People are just not nice. But you know who is nice? N.K. Jemisin. White supremacy. That's a big topic. Read a book that subverts white supremacy in some way. And for that, I am picking Wizard of Earthsea by Ursula K. Le Guin. This is my fancy Folio Society edition, which is amazing. It has a map. Look at the map. Isn't the map amazing? Look at the illustrations. When was it published? This book was published back in 1968, where basically people of colour just didn't exist in books or any form of literature whatsoever. So Le Guin decided that she was going to take the fantasy genre, which at the time was dominated by old white men, and she was going to put a bunch of black characters in her story. But she wasn't going to make a big point out of it. She did it very subtly, and everybody assumed the characters were white. But as she went through the story, she revealed through amazing writing that almost all the characters in this book are black. I believe there are some areas of this world of Earthsea that has white people in it, but I don't know. But our main character is black, and most of the people we deal with are people of colour. Theological Fundamentalism or Religious Intolerance. Read a book where the character has a different religion from yourself. Now, technically, I could use the calculating stars for this prompt as well, as the main character is also Jewish, but I'm going to take a bit of artistic license with this one, and I'm going to read Elantris by Brandon Sanderson, because his magic systems are basically like religion, and also I need to research magic systems for my own book I'm writing, so I needed to fit this one in somehow. Book elitism. This book elitism makes me so angry. I actually wrote a little on my website that I called Thinky Doodles about book elitism and how it's just not cool. But this prompt is to read your trashiest, most tropey, most ridiculous novel that you have. And again, I'm taking a little bit of artistic license with this, and I'm picking the graphic novel Lumberjanes. This was written by Noelle Stevenson and Grace Ellis and was illustrated by Brooke Allen. This graphic novel is ridiculous and amazing, and it's just exactly what you need on a day where you're feeling a bit sad. This will pick you right up. This is about this group of friends who go to some sort of summer camp. I only know about summer camps from American films, so I guess you just go and you hang out in the woods. But it's about this group of friends, and they go on various adventures and they cement their brilliant relationships between each other, even though they're very different personalities. Their friendship just comes together despite all those differences. At Miss Quinzella Thisquin Penquiquill Thistle Crumpets Camp for hardcore lady types, things are not what they seem. If that doesn't tell you everything you need to know about this graphic novel, then Gentrification. Read a book that deals with characters who are having to deal with gentrification in their area. And for that, I have picked this book, which is a bit off the wall. It's called Cider with Rosie. I believe I got this book for free, or I got it reduced from the Folio Society as well, because I ordered 2 or 3 books at one go, and then they had a promotion on at the time where you got this book. And it's got the little ribbony thread bookmark thing, and it's got a lime green top to it. Orange. So this is a book. The narrator, or the protagonist rather, is a young boy who lives in the countryside in England somewhere, and they live in a very rural community, and it's almost the last community that still lives in rural isolation. And with the advent of the car and public buses, they start to change the way they're living, and it's not always necessarily for the better. So in this book, the gentrification doesn't actually happen, but it's the beginnings and the threats of everything starting to come through, and how the characters have to deal with not only the gentrification happening, but their entire way of life having to change and modernise. Slut shaming. Read a book where the protagonist has sex and does not apologise for it. For that, I am picking Veronica Decides to Die by Paulo Coelho. So this is about the protagonist Veronica, who decides one day that she wants to die. So she swallows a bucket of sleeping pills, and she wakes up in the hospital and is told by doctors that she's still alive for now, but the amount of sleeping pills that she chugged have irreversibly damaged her internal organs, and she's gonna die anyway, but it's just gonna be really slow and painful. And because of this realization of what her life now is, and once she's gotten over the initial sadness and fear, Veronica begins to accept her fate, and she starts living every day like it could be her last, because literally it could be her last day, and next day she dies. So she starts doing everything she wants and saying the things she wants, and she stops being scared, and she starts a relationship with somebody because she wants to. She just does the things she wants to do, and she's like, this is what I want to do. Fight me. I've actually read this one already quite a few years ago, and I really want to revisit it. Paulo Coelho's work is so thought-provoking and amazing. Fuck with yourself. Do something nice for yourself. Well, July is actually my birthday month, and my birthday this year falls on a Wednesday. So I'm going to take the day off, and I will be going to the park to read books and eat delicious food and have a nice time. And the final prompt is to read the group book, which is The Source of Self-Regard by Toni Morrison. I don't actually have this book, so I might investigate if I can get it on Google Books, or perhaps if my local library will have it. It's unlikely that my local library will have it because English is not the first language here. We'll see. I'll investigate because it sounds amazing. So, that is all the books I hope to read for the July fuckathon hosted by Noria Reads, and I'm really looking forward to this. I'm excited to read this bunch of books, although this stack is formidable. I'm gonna have to prioritize. We'll see how far I get through it. Make sure to check out Noria Reads' channel for all her to-be-read suggestion videos for each of the prompts, and for her description of what the readathon is about. And make sure to join her channel on the 1st of August for when she will be hosting the live show, which I'm very excited for. Thank you for watching this video. You should check out some of my others if you enjoyed this, where I review books and I get down and dirty with all the fun stuff and all the terrible stuff about the books. But until the next time I see you, I will speak to you in the comments.